What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? These ultra-low net-carb baked goods contain zero sugar, fewer calories, and more protein than the leading brands, and are high in fiber to support gut health. Shop now at hero.co.
I get on the case. It's already been 12 months. They used to transition kids back home. I'm like, I'm the one that get in. I kick up all this dirt, this ruckus about it. I'm requesting special hearings left and right from the attorneys, and the attorneys are like, I need to hit them and see how they doing. They're like, you know what? Before you got on this case, we kind of gave up, but you didn't like lit the fire on everybody again. I'm like, why? It's like, why are we to this point? We letting this slide? But kind of find out. Man, he was the mother. He was the mother of the children's caregiver. The grandmother, gave him custody. Only thing she needed was get her SSI checks, and he could do whatever he wanted to do with her. Ended up getting
No,
her pregnant at 14. Had two
no.
girls with her, and I'm like, me, everything I'm saying right here, I was telling him as I like, dude, that don't. I was the guardian that lied him then. I like, that's not gonna fly. He like, man, Mr. Drake, you know how it is sometimes. No, I don't know how it is.
You're
And
ruining
I was
ultimate.
like, "What do you mean?" Yeah, but she was delayed. And when I never forget, this is like he was one. It's not that many parents that would get me boiling hot. Okay, he was one of them, and it's not because he tried to make me mad. It's just like you are a disgusting male.
Yeah.
When I hear the term "Negroes ain't feces," I think
Mm-hmm.
of him. Okay, because I was 25 at the time,
Yeah.
and y'all hear me right here. I talk my doors, I play blah blah blah. But when I'm working, I am extremely professional. Okay, I can still joke, but I know how to get my job done, and I know how to do my job well, and and I treat people fairly and equally. And that's why my goal is becoming a judge because I can be empathetic, but
Mm-hmm.
this man, they got so much money off child. He was banking off the government. Like if I would become a Republican, it'd be because of him. Put it that way. He was banking. I'm talking about making cake. He had an opportunity to get a job, turned the job down because he wouldn't get his SSI. He was a 39-year-old rapper, okay, and he was trying to explain why he couldn't pay child support because even though these kids in CPS, you getting out of this type of money, you got to pay some type of child support because you're not taking any of your medication that you say you're on. And I know people that need SSI and you don't need it. But anyway, he was like, but he come in here with jewelry on. Look, it's not the high, but it's like dusty diamonds and stuff like that, and new clothes. And I never forget this. I was sitting in a bench across from him in the hallway of the courthouse, and this courthouse used to be packed, the juvenile court. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, I'm like, you got all this, and that, you need to pay something for your children. So I'm requesting for you and the mother to be placed on child support while they're with this foster placement at this moment. Because y'all are trying to get the kid. It was a crazy situation. Usually I would never do that, but this
Mm-hmm.
foster placement they were trying to give, that's the thing. They were trying to give, this is jargon that you may not understand. Okay, I don't want to go all the way back. I don't know, go down this rabbit hole. But yeah, I was trying to request child support because they were trying to treat the foster parent like a relative, where that foster parent would no longer receive funds. Okay, just because the foster parent wanted to adopt, she loved these kids. She was doing a great job for them, and these are all black people, by the way. So
Yeah.
it goes to the point where he tells me this. He was like, Mr. Drake, I got a shopping habit. I'm talking about.
Sir, you
Oh,
better shut up talking to me.
I was like, excuse me, man. I like, I got up and walked away. I got up and walked away. I'm getting mad. I'm tearing up because I'm getting mad already. But I'm like, you did not just tell me that. He like, man, we both men. We grown. You know how it is when we were young. I'm like, what you mean? He like, you like 30. You about
Right.
42,
You
right? I'm like, dog. I'm
right.
26, man. You 40. And when I said that, the baby mama, she barely talked. That's how it was. Something she barely talked.
Yeah.
She looked at him like, "What are you doing with your life?" And I'm
Mm.
like, "This the type of dude." And it's sad you don't because that's what she saw in the man. That was her
Mm-hmm.
caregiver. That was her caregiver. Technically, her father. and he's done led her astray all her life. Her mother failed her. Her true father failed her. And
Mm-hmm.
now, like, and that's why I said I was gonna refuse to allow them to take care of these two other, like, and people may not like what I'm saying here, but
Mm-hmm.
no, absolutely not. Because
Mm.
what he gonna molest his girls now too? His actions,
Yeah.
like, no, that's not about the role. And he had a nerve to tell me that he mentored, and I know I believe him. He mentored
Mm.
other boys in the neighborhood. He know what he
A lot,
done is wrong. You
a lot of
still doing it, player?
that youth coach that raped his 10-month old and killed her was on a football team of boys. Like people are sick. People are sick. But let's get into these voicemails, and then we gotta answer this topic question. Should kids choose their own gender? I'm gonna ask you first, and then if anybody's listening and would like to chime in on a response to this question, please respond to this question. Should kids choose their own gender? Why or why not?
Should kids choose their own gender? I'm going to go with sure, but they shouldn't take any sort of hormones or get any sort of gender reassignment surgeries or anything like that. I think kids should have to wait until they're at the very least 18 to be able to do something like that.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
I don't know about choosing, but I just feel like gender roles as kids shouldn't be so strict. A boy can play Barbies, paint their nails, wear dresses. Girls can play with, trucks and army men. I don't think that children should be put in boxes that they need to act this way because they're a boy or they need to act this way because they're a girl. Because that just causes problems growing up that they'll, because I'm a girl, I gotta act this way, or you know what I mean? I just feel like kids shouldn't be subjected to having to quote unquote choose. Just let them live their life and let them choose feminine or masculine things.
Okay, thank you, Miss Press.
I agree with that. When I buy my kids toys, I let them shop and pick from trucks, cars, dinosaurs, um, you know, a skateboard, scooter, bike, dolls.
But
I'm not
that you got two girls. You
yeah,
got two
I'm not
girls too. I think
I
it's a lot more flexible for girls than it's for boys as well.
mm,
I may, and I think because that's one of the questions I asked on the show is like, how do you believe in gender roles? Growing up, and a lot if like when she said, I think you can see a woman wear a girl wear jeans or overalls. That was the big thing when I was growing up. Little girls wearing overalls.
I was upset.
But I never saw a boy grow up with a dress.
Yeah, I never seen that. That was like completely not allowed. I remember one time my brothers and their friends were like in the house just looking for stuff to do, and they had dressed up in my mom's clothes for just like jokes. And
Hmm.
they had like walked out into the hallway of the apartments, and I remember locking them in the hallway, and they they were banging down that
Whoa,
door because they didn't want nobody to
whoa.
see them in the dresses and the
See,
makeup and earrings and
see,
stuff. But my
why?
mom did it.
Oh, y'all have to get on you about that one. It was a day at school. This was hot, man, and I used to tell my wife this all the time that this
Yeah.
photo is gonna come up one day when I start running for my election.
Oh no.
You know, and like around the 10-year reunion of my high school reunion. So we had a Facebook group, everybody chilling, and man, somebody posted the picture. I like, Jesus, like, like it was me and one of these other guys. We were going around. Like, it was like I was in theater art. I was like in theater arts and all that type of stuff. Once again, sometimes I'm very artistic about things. But
Yeah.
we were joking around, going to different classes, like, cause me and this other guy, we both played football, very muscular, and we had these little. We had clothes under it, but we had dresses on top of our clothes and all that. And
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my God, don't let that picture come around. And that picture popped up. I'm like, yeah. As soon as I start, somebody gonna pull that picture out, and I'm like, hey, we was having fun. Like, There was nothing to it, but that's what it is, man. But it's like one of those things that gender roles exist. I don't think gender roles are going to ever change. Now they're going to be I'm gonna say that they will change, but some people are going to try to hold on to them forever.
Yeah.
Um, so and that's a conversation right there. It's so much we can go into. Like, what do you see as a gender role? And I know
Oh,
it's so many people. It can go from cooking, go from cleaning. It can go from. I didn't know driving was a gender role, and we got to understand some of these things were privileges. Some of these things were to hold people back. Like when I say people, I mean women
yeah.
back from doing certain things. Like I've said this before. I did not know. Like my father-in-law, he used to give little slight shots. Oh, you got my daughter driving? I'm like, yeah. The hell you talking about? Like what you mean, bro? Like that's she got like I'm tired. Not until like two years ago, maybe 3 years ago, that
Mhm.
oh that's a gender role where you come from in your family. I asked
Yeah.
my family, do y'all believe the man should drive? They're like, no, hell no. But like
Mhm.
my grandfather, it was like something that he took. They look at it as like, man, women were not allowed because look, women were not allowed to drive. Back in the day. So when women were able to drive, my grandma, she loved it. But some people don't love it, and some people like, nope, man don't drive no matter what. That's what you have. So I
Mhm.
think people are holding on to gender roles, and they don't even want it to be. They don't even want it. They don't even like it. I've seen that. But I'm like, hey,
Mhm.
but to make my baby happy, I drive for her, no problem. I hate driving, but I'll drive for her.
We got three voicemails. Let's play.
Nah, I don't think no kid could choose what their gender are. Kids don't have the mental capacity or responsibility, a responsibility to even say, I want to do this, because they're at the stage in their life where they can't make those type of decisions. Kids can't just go out and go to McDonald's and do all this other stuff on their own. You know what I'm saying? They can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say kids can't go off and buy nothing, but I'm saying there's certain things that kids can't do that requires an adult. You got to learn to keep these kids at a child level. You know what I'm saying?
Children.
Even though some of them may be exposed to that due to situations, but I mean, if we can keep a child where it's at, instead of trying to make them grow up to where we're at, man, that's what causes an imbalance. No,
Mm.
kids do not need to do that. They need to learn to live what they are.
Mhm.
I feel you, Dane
Absolutely
Jones.
not. Kids should not be choosing their gender. This is bringing confusion and bringing trauma to children. Like, just let kids be kids. Why are we trying to indoctrinate? You got government telling these teachers, telling them, teaching them about homosexuality and all this stuff. Like, let kids be kids. They shouldn't be choosing gender. It's all confusion. God made two genders, male and female. That's it. It's we as humans make it so complicated, and it's corrupting these kids. Like, no, it's not the way. It's not the way. No, absolutely not. The Bible says it's not. No, no. There's only two genders.
Respected. Respected.
What type of shit is
Got
this?
it.
Okay. Should your kids choose their gender role? What type of shit?
So the reason
Man, look.
topic is
We got to
because
A
of
bleep
child,
that
I
out right there.
understand, is intelligent and also have the awareness to know certain things about themselves. Even though there's times where they cannot put certain feelings in words. But their gender, though, come
Mhm.
on, little boy, you know what you have, you know what mommy have. What I have, you don't. You're a boy, I'm a girl. That's it. All that extra shit, it's a dub. Excuse my language, but what the? You know how Black China Mom said, I'm ready to get the fuck after this shit? Yeah, that's how I feel about America. That's crazy as hell.
The reason why I put up that question because what I had up is not showing anymore. There's a documentary called Transhood on home HBO Max, and if you get a
Mm-hmm.
chance, you can watch it
Check it
to
out.
or read up on it. And it's basically four different families who are allowing their children to choose their identity and gender. And so that's why I put this question up, not because I feel like they
We
should
believe
or
in
I
it
should,
wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm.
just because I want to know what people think about that question.
I mean,
And
there's
I
gender
see some
roles
people
and
feel
things that you
very
probably don't
strongly.
think about, like just getting married. Like your father gives away, as a woman, he's giving you away to your husband. That's a gender role all in itself. It's
It is.
ingrained in us when we're little that men don't cry and women cook and nurture and raise babies. It's something that you learn at a young age, and it just becomes second nature.
Oop,
Mm.
oop, oop. Hold on. Got a quick response to that. And I like some gender roles were gender roles because that's how nature was necessarily was done. It's almost like the animal kingdom. And I always speak about the id, ego, and super ego. But more cultured we become, meaning more we start to progress as a community, progress as a society, that we don't have to go out and hunt animals and cook berries and chop wood and all that. So we can have a little bit more lax on things. And let let's put a pin in that. I want to hear everyone, but I have a good. We just got somebody else comment. But I have a good perspective that when I first got on stereo, I'm gonna say that when we hear it was so unique. Okay, I talk about hoteps all the time. I got to get me a Kente head because hoteps have me hilarious, and there's some hoteps on here. And if you're listening to me in hotep, hey, I hope you're having a good day today.
Yeah,
But some of y'all crazy as hell. But yeah, because in my main thing, I give them a hard time because they don't like they very some of them are very dismissive of other people's cultures and beliefs, and I'm like, I can't believe in yours if you should go squat on mine.
yeah,
Um, and every time I ask something in detail, you don't have it. Yeah, it seems like sometimes they just making it up as they go.
yeah.
And it was a man and a woman having a conversation, and the man just outright said he can't wait because this COVID stuff will get bad when things gonna go back to the new world order when the violence and the civil war happen again, and women gonna need men. They gonna have to depend on us then. I'm like, wow, you
Mm.
really are a POS. And she was like, not so much, but he was like, but that's they want to go back to the balance of things. Because
Mhm.
when women were not like raping and pillaging, you needed
Mhm.
a man to be there to protect you from that. You didn't need a smart man at that time, you needed a strong man. And having that strong man, you feel safe.
Yeah.
That's what so and that's why gun it's so in depth in depth about how the world works. And that's where gender roles come from.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? But
Yeah.
now you don't need to rely as much on these gender roles. But people want to go back to where you need each other. Like the woman wasn't she couldn't work at times because she had to stay home take care of the kids. The kids had people had a bunch of kids because the kids supposed to work.
Yep.
It was a children's.
They didn't want the
That was
money.
culture,
The kids took care of the farm and whatever.
right? And instead of hiring a bunch of people, or you were too poor to have slave, or you had a bunch of kids, they run
Mhm.
the business. Instead of go out in the community and socialize and all that, you had it all work like that. It was all set up like this. But things have changed such a great deal. Why do you still do the things you do? Same thing with food. Why we still eat the same things we eat? It's so many things that we're stuck in our behavior. Christmas. This is the first year my wife and I are celebrating Christmas because it's a
Mm.
change. I don't because Christmas ain't what it's supposed to be. You
Yeah.
know, Jesus was a Capricorn, I heard. But all these things going on, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But when it comes down to it, hearing another guy actually say, and I know guys think like this, but hearing them actually say, I'm just ready for things to go back to dark ages when women need men to struggle. Same thing that it won't Kamala.
Yeah.
because having a woman in the White House. Oh no, this the end of the world, y'all. No, it's
Yeah.
not. No, it's not.
When
Relax.
when I was growing up, my grandparents, my mom's parents, uh, I've never seen my grandfather cook anything. My
Damn.
grandmother cooked, my aunt cooked, my cousin cooked. My grandma would try to tell me, a woman's place is in the kitchen. The man
Mm.
just sits and waits, and then we set his table. We make sure there's no watermarks on his fork or his plate, and you call him when the food is on the table. And I was like, not me.
But
And that's
but
what
hey, did it?
that's
But the
what
same
pushed
thing did a man pay all the bills?
no, that's what pushed me to be 28
Mhm.
and learning how to cook and refusing to be in the kitchen because I hated that mentality that a man can't choose to come into the kitchen and also cook. Not
Oh yeah,
saying that a
it went both ways.
but I was so against it. And then you have now where I'm a single mom of two. There's no man in my household, and instantly when my brothers caught on to the fact that I was about to get a boyfriend to feel safe, they was like, "Oh, so you got to get some guns for the house?"
Yes,
And
ma'am. You better.
my thing, and I do have guns for my house, but my thing is, even if I had a man here, I know I can't
You
carry
still
that
have
man
guns. Yeah.
for 24/7. I'm still gonna have the guns. So
Yes, thank
it's
you.
kind of like, to me, certain things are not a gender role. To me, it's like back in the day, but now we have a new day, and a man can also do these things that women can do, and women can also do these things that men
There
can do.
you go. Cause did you see the video of my brisket? I cook all
Yeah,
the time, man. Like that's what I love to do. Same
yeah,
thing. Like I know the folklore, but this I was raised. I was raised to do this, and that's why I'm on both sides. I want somebody that we're going to be happy with because I can do anything a woman can do for me,
yeah,
and I want someone that I don't want people to be. We got to be so codependent on each other where we can't survive. I want
yeah.
you want a helpmate. You want someone that's going to if something happened to me, she can pick up. If something happened to her, I can pick up. We still can take care of each other. But
Right.
that's a whole relationship. And when you talking about the gender norms and stuff like that, it's the reason why at a time things are like this. But does it need to stay the same? Not essentially. That's what I said. What do you want to hold on to? Because I'm still like I got some gender roles that I hold on to.
Okay. Well,
Um,
after
go
we
ahead.
play voicemails, we can get into like what gender roles you want to hold on to, because there's some that I purposely show my daughters so they don't grow up thinking they have to get a man so they can do these things. So I'm gonna play the
Pussy wrong.
into
Ooh,
that.
we got seven. Seven? Where they come from? What y'all
Hey
talking about?
guys. So please don't cancel me for what I'm about to say,
Be
but
nice.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say it anyway. I
About to get
don't
canceled.
necessarily agree with Dang God 113 about children not having the capacity to make certain decisions, simply because not only do I have a toddler, but like if your child can tell you what they want as far as like anything goes, whether it be sports, food, clothes, toys, their favorite color, their favorite TV show, or what have you, what makes you think they can't tell you what they're feeling on the inside? Now, it may not necessarily be, because people always take this whole gender situation as sexual, but yes, I don't believe a child can tell you like they're intimately interested in.
Mm.
And I
She
think she
reminded.
probably gonna be the next one.
Okay, I'm gonna play it. She reminded me of something, so I'm gonna put a pin in it.
A specific gender
Phoenix.
or anything of that nature, but I do think children have the capacity to tell you what they're feeling on the inside, like when it comes to certain shit. Yes, teach your children that they were born a boy or a girl. Yes, teach your children that, being born a boy and a girl means you lead a certain lifestyle. However, don't try to like diminish your child's thought process or what they're feeling or what they're thinking because you don't agree with it. People have to understand that these kids and these adults live their own lives. At the end of the day, they're going to pick and choose what they want, how they want it, how they feel, what they feel, and whatever.
Okay. Okay.
I hope that made sense because of the way I was
Oh,
thinking it
it
in my
did.
head, and usually the way I say things out loud don't really match, but I hope that made sense to y'all.
It made sense.
It did. And I'm glad she talked very slow to make sure we were gonna make sense of it. We
Hmm.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Queen. I'm not coming at you, you know what I mean? But it's just like this is being publicized heavy now and advertised super heavy. Like, let your
Hmm.
child choose their gender. What the fuck? Bruh. Listen, okay? We as human beings, just like the gentleman said prior to, my comment, we are making things more confusing than what it is. You're a boy, I'm a girl, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, that whole gender fluid. One day I feel like I'm a woman, next day I feel like a man. Okay, bitch. Okay, today I feel like I'm Barack Obama. Tomorrow I may feel like I'm Trump. Okay, we cool with that? Matter of fact, no, fuck that. I feel like a white woman, so I need my privilege immediately. That's how I feel. The fuck is wrong, yo, man? Look, like I said, I'm ready to get the fuck ASAP.
But where
Hmm.
you going? Where you
Yeah.
going? You
Hmm.
can't go. You can go to Iraq. You gonna have some other things you ain't gonna like over there. But go ahead. Go ahead.
If you gotta let your children choose their gender, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with that parent. Like, if that's the case, who's to say what's a gender? What classifies someone being a boy? What classifies being someone a girl? Like, it's really confusing the adults. Like, that's is stupid. It's stupid. Like, let's say you let your kid choose their gender. Well, I want to be a girl. How does that, like, what makes you a girl? Like, we know a boy has a penis, a girl has a vagina. Like, we know these things, so it just don't make sense. It really don't. I'm confused.
Hmm.
And see, and
I
this is why I was.
think that the problem with the question is when it comes to gender, that I know personally speaking that at a very, very young age, I would pretend to be a girl. And it was beat out of me, beat out of me, beat out of me. So as an adult, I thought I was gay. And so, of course, my parents played mind games with me when it came to that as well. And eventually I've circled back to exploring my gender. And it's something that I can recall from when I was a kid. So, do I think it's okay for children to choose their gender? No. But I do think that it's okay for children to express themselves at a very young age. And whatever that manifests into in adulthood is something different.
Okay.
Thank you, very T. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's exactly like I need to follow this person because that's why I want to be on the show. It's like we can have that conversation, but until I don't have that thought process though. I didn't live that life. I didn't have the experience. But Very T put it together like no matter how much you try to beat them out of it, they still had that mindset. And like you say, Very T circled back to it later on in their adulthood.
Hmm.
And going back to the show or the documentary, Phoenix, my man Phoenix, or I call him my man now because he's a boy.
Hmm.
His his parents were like so because he said the only thing he said, I'm a girl. How many times did he say it was a girl? How do you know it was a girl? He was playing with his older sister
Hmm.
and he was a girl at that moment. But soon,
Yeah.
and the mother said it, soon as this is what she really wanted to say. Let me tell you that. Soon as I had him around a real man, my daddy, you know, his mindset changed. He wanted
Mm.
guns. he became a country boy. His mindset, and the dad was more open, open that door like, hey, what you want to be, I'm gonna love you. If you want to be a girl. And the son was still like, nah, I'm a boy. And you see the mother even try to go back and delete anything she had from his childhood because he was in so many dresses and things. So
Hmm.
it was a very, and like what like and that's why I said I would love to see this like the next 20 years. What if Phoenix becomes like want to become a girl again? What is gonna be like? Or if he's gonna be one of these closet hateful dudes, that's why I believe he can become too, because he's
Yeah.
gonna resent what happened to him. That can highly happen. So,
Hmm.
because I think a lot of dudes that like men and women are well, I don't know, they're extremely homophobic, especially guys. I actually believe they are gay. I played
Or,
football in high
or
school, and when I tell you, some of the gayest thing happened to it was the acting was from football players that were so homophobic. Later on, they come out as gay, and I'm like, I knew you was gay when I was young. You know, y'all want to go and play grab ass and do this and all that. You want to make sure you're looking at another guy's penis. I'm like, what are you doing? But soon as a dude, oh,
not,
that's gay, you trying to shame him. I'm just going over the experience that I've seen in my lifetime.
yeah, for kids, sometimes it's not even. Um, I just hate. I just hate the fact that this person is this way, and I'm
Yeah.
homophobic. Sometimes it can be like a memory of when you
Yep.
were embarrassed by somebody teasing you that you were something that you weren't. So now you just
Shame.
grew up and hate it. And
Yeah.
sometimes people just hate you and hate everything that you are because you have the audacity and the
Privilege.
to live in your truth, and they can't
Hmm.
do it. So it's a different levels of why they hate you on how you express yourself, and a lot of times it's a reflection of what they've gone through that they have not processed correctly.
Absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. It's called shame. Do you watch the show Big Mouth on Netflix?
No, my nephew told me to watch it, and it was just
You
too
would
much.
love it. You would love it. Don't watch it with your kids. You would love it. You of all people would love it. You are a hormone monster to an extent. You would absolutely love it. I'm surprised that you have not watched that yet. It's
Yeah,
such a good perspective about things. And it's inappropriate because they're using kids, but it's like going through puberty.
yeah,
And I joke about it because Lord, my hormone monster, that's what we need to change it. Like Big Mouth season 5, I think it's season 4 coming out. Because
yeah.
I'm telling you, the feeling when you first start feeling aroused as a man, I'm telling you, it's like, okay, I gotta see what's this, what's that, what's this, what's that. And my
Yeah.
hormone monster still alive and effect to this day. And and then they have some people when the hormone monster become weak. It's so unique.
Hmm.
And same thing, you have a hormone monstrous, the female version of them, and how women experience these different things, how they want to try different, at a young age, everybody hormone monster may hit differently. Those things happen. You get aggressive. You want to know people. That's that id kicking in. But
Yeah.
I just find it so unique how it's intersectionality, and it's a culture. Once again, it's a culture that we have that when you growing up, and once again, when I knew, and when I was a little kid, I said they like, oh, you got a girlfriend, um, Drake, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't like her. I like her. You know what I mean?
I don't
I
like
really
her.
like her. I was that kid to a certain age. Like I didn't have my first kiss until I was like in the ninth grade, you know?
I was in the second
And
YMCA
see,
underwater.
ooh, okay, okay, cool. Miss Popular, okay, what in the underwater? You just gonna throw that in like that ain't nothing? Okay. Yeah. It wasn't regular. Yeah, we did like the Spider-Man kiss, but
Shout
in
out to
water,
David Peters wherever he is. What's up?
man. But at the same time, I come from a small
Yeah.
town country, and guess when you in a small town of country and you in college, I mean you in high school and your hormones going, and you ain't got all the clubs closed early, it's not a lot of things to do. Guess what you're gonna do? Um, and like, but I lost my dream. I got my first kiss at 13, like
Mhm.
kids kiss at 13, and I lost my virginity at 15.
Oh wow.
So it was, and everything else escalated after that. And I tell folks like, and like it's like once again, it's certain things that happen. I like, man, I know grown men haven't did things I've done, but some guys are like, oh man, I ain't gonna ever do that, man. I can't. I knew dudes that still feel like getting oral from a woman is gay.
What?
Man, I'm like, sorry for you, brother. Like,
And you know
like,
what? And this is why you have parents like Abusi that's over sexualizing his sons to make
ooh,
sure they're straight. Like
ooh.
you can go on IG right now, and one of my friends sent me a video this morning of a little boy in a club with
Then
strippers
see you be
and
see that's you
allowing
be man you be
somebody
because
allowing
it's
the stripper
whew,
to dance up on this little
the,
boy that can't be nothing but
that
six.
man. If I think that's an old video, I hope it's an old video because that's the type of stuff you have to report. That's child abuse right there. That's sexual abuse live in effect.
That's
No,
crazy.
nowhere around it. Nowhere around it. That's disgusting. Okay, and but it's that gender role. Long as the boy, it's okay. Let's
Yeah.
reverse roles
When you take a little girl to a strip club,
and allow that little girl to touch on a man and stuff like that, on that man to ground that little girl like that. Man, the world will be on fire.
it's a fire.
Man, let's shut up. I know I was I did right when I said that like that sounded country, but I'm like because that's exactly how I was like I wasn't even trying to act like her, like man. But that I don't know if you posted because I have you that posts all the crazy stuff to me on Instagram, and I
Yeah.
got my other homegirl on Twitter. She posts all the crazy stuff to me on Twitter, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like I didn't expect to see this today, but
Hmm.
it's kind of like when I was a caseworker. Like my wife used to get somewhat upset at me at times because she wouldn't get upset. She was like, "Oh my god!" Like when people and we caseworkers talked about this, but
Hmm.
when we go around other people and they ask you, "What? So what do you do?" You really want to know? It's like, and the story. If they ask one question, they want to know about like, what is this like? Tell us a story. We tell
At
a
least
story, and
next.
man, everybody mouth on the table. Everybody mouth on the table. I'm like, well, y'all ask, that's how it happened. I'm like, so when you see these type of stuff, like if we'll talk about the child abuse and not comparing child abuse to gender and kids having choices, but you have some things that affect children. Then you have some
Yeah.
children that I think was it really T I expressed it well that they can express themselves, but actually going to the point of making a change in things, nah, you can't do that in my household. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna influence my child to go to college, but you know what? If you don't want to go to college, that's fine. Live your life. You can't stay here while you're not going to college. And and once again, oh, that's wrong. No, it's not. I have my preference.
Every yeah
I
have their preference. So like for me, I already had this discussion with Anya because she asked me. She asked me if she had to go to college, and I told her no. But if you do
hmm
want to, you're going to academically have great grades, so you could get grants or scholarships, so somebody could pay you to go to.
man,
I'm paying for it.
exactly.
You're not signing any financial aid either because I wish my mom was like, no, you're not signing no financial aid because you don't want to be my age with two kids and 98K in debt for going to school.
God,
Like, you don't
what is
want
that?
it. And to me,
98. Yeah, what? Huh?
I wouldn't mind my kids getting to 18 and tell me, you know what, I don't want to go to school, but I do want to start this business. And if you need $10,000 to go ahead and start this business that you've been showing me since you've been 15 that you're into, let's go for it. And you can stay in my house because realistically, I don't feel like you mentally mature until about 25.
I like that. I'm all with that. I'm all
So,
with that. See, another thing is once again, I don't mind businesses at all, but it's talking about with college, trade school, you have to build within yourself. because you can work for a job or something like that, or you can have your business something that don't work out. But when you have accolades under your belt and education under you as well,
Right.
nobody can stop you. And not only with college, everybody think about, okay, I'm going to college just to make money. I wouldn't have
No.
met my wife if I was in college. I wouldn't have a lot of friends if I didn't go to college. Like I met a lot of people. I probably wouldn't be doing this show if me not going to college, or having a
Mm.
podcast, because I was able to explore different horizons and different experiences at the same time. And I would like to travel with my, have kids and things like that so we can have a better understanding of the world and not so isolated. Like I grew up, yeah, well, I'll talk about that another time. It's like we didn't know too much about things, but it's going to Phoenix. Once again, my main man, Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix, I'm telling you, it was to a point that it just showed me. And once again, this doesn't, it's a spectrum. But just because a kid says, "Oh, I'm a girl," that he was what 3, 4 year old. He didn't know. He didn't know. He was out just playing. And it's to the point where the parents are like, "You sure? You sure? You sure? You sure?" Man, I barely know how to wipe my butt right now. I guess. I guess. And that's what it kind of felt like he was pressured. The other young child, what was the gamer? Was it Avery? Was their name? Avery was one that she's gonna grow up just to be a free spirit. That's it. And
Yeah.
it could be positive, because they may surround themselves around people that's going to support them in their lifestyle and their thought process. And I do think that's a beautiful thing to have people that will support you into what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it kind of go on an episode I'm trying to bring back, redo about being black, okay, or being African American black. I don't know how, but I know African American. If you being black, we roast each other about every single thing,
Yeah.
everything, okay, and that's really toxic. If we want to keep it a buck, but that's
Mm-hmm.
part of us. I'm part of that. If you like, you just can't come in wearing anything in the house and think we go let you slide. I think Ryan Davis it's the truth, and it's bullying, it's shaming at the end of the day, but we wouldn't do it if we didn't care about you. Ryan Davis was talking about Willow and Jaden because Jaden and Willow Smith feel like they were not represented, like cared for. They said they were isolated by the black community. Like they were banned. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody banned y'all. Y'all really didn't want to rock with us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, being black, we go roast you no matter what. Okay, that's just gonna happen. And if you can't handle it because y'all continue doing quote unquote different or what people say weird stuff, hey, so be it. So just like with these kids, like was majority of these kids, well, a few of them was homeschooled, correct? Two of them were homeschooled, the really young ones.
Mm-hmm.
Avery and Phoenix were homeschooled because they were like the kids are bullying them and giving other type of influence. And but when he started going to school, when he got old enough to go to school, he was like, "Oh, I like being a boy."
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing about it. If they wanted him, they started giving him testosterone or hormones or anything of that nature when he was that young, how they would affect him and his decisions like in life now. And that's why I say on the main one, I can say the main one. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing because the 15-year-old, because she had a more mature mindset than any of the rest of them. And even when they was getting shots, what's the
Yeah.
was it Jay?
Yeah.
Jay like was the most because one he came from a community. His mother was in a was in same sex relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they supported him. Like only thing I didn't like when they try to force that or try to sneak that on the other person on the other girl and get mad at the other girl and her family for not wanting to be that.
Yeah.
Everybody don't think like that. You can't push everybody else's culture on them like that. I respect you for what you're doing in your household. That's
Yeah.
fine. But because man, I would, I would have been
Mm-hmm.
extremely upset if I'm dating a girl in high school or any, and I'm start seeing my people start even knowing what other people are thinking because it's what you expect. And I started seeing pictures of you being a boy as a baby, as a kid,
Yeah.
from second, third grade. And it's embarrassing for everyone. So I think, but when Jay became older and was dating a new person and was out front and honest, I think things worked out. So I just hope everything work out for these kids and these parents. But once again, the parents are the ones I'm like, I really want to know, like, what was going on in your head, what's going on with you, especially the one I would love to interview would be the oldest one. um I would like to interview their parents because they felt very supportive. The grandmother
Yeah.
was so cool about it,
Yeah.
and that's why I say I believe I hope they're doing well. I hope all of them doing well in life. Lena,
Mm,
that's why I would like to interview Lena's parents because
mm,
they come off, they look like Republicans. They look, once again, I don't judge books by cover, but they look
mm,
like they're totally different. You got the mom. It took me a long time before I saw the mom, but when I saw the mom, I'm like, good that she's there too.
mm.
So
Let's hop into these
we got some.
voice.
I'm about to say we got some
And with
messages.
like the whole gender stuff, like gender roles and everything, I mean, with an artist now, Harry Styles, I'm not sure if you know what's going on with him. He was the
Nope.
first single man, like by himself to be on the cover of Vogue, and he wore a dress, and people are going crazy about it. And I think this day and
It
age,
should have been
that
Young
shouldn't
Thug.
be an issue that people are, protesting. I feel like men should be able to wear what they want to wear nail polish, wear makeup, wear whatever you want. But because of that stigma of what men are supposed to be, it just like brings us back.
I just
Shout out.
I
It should have been
think
Young Thug.
I don't I I think anybody, any adult that can take care of themselves to a certain extent of basics, you should be allowed to present yourself however you want to present yourself and be however you want to be. And if you want to get your nails painted and be of whatever gender, you can. I mean, it's you, as long as you can pay for it, go ahead and do it. But I will never have a son and him be like, I want to get my nails painted and get his nails painted, because I don't even let my daughters get their nails painted. That's something that a grown woman does. She gets her nails painted. My daughters can have their toes
Dyeing
painted
hair.
at the house for fun and
Like dyeing,
giggles.
like even
I'm
with the
not dyeing
dyeing
hair
hair,
either.
like I was like, oh man, that was very unique. You don't matter. It was nothing about your gender. Dyeing your hair like that, nah.
Yeah, it's too
But
much
once again,
for me as a parent, and it's just certain things that kids have to have the space and the wonder of, I can't wait to get this age so I can do these things. I can't wait to
mm,
be able to have a phone like you, mom. How do you have a phone? Because I work, because I have
mm,
responsibility, because I can pay the bill. Like, I'm so tired of seeing 6-year-olds with iPhones, and you have grown people.
iPad. I still don't have an iPad. It's like,
That's crazy to me. Like, there has to
but
be some type of goal and something
balance.
the children want to reach to in adult life, to be like, when you're an adult, you have these things. Kids are going to get to an adult age and still act like kids, because the things that adults have, kids have. So they're not going to
Hmm.
know the difference. They're not going to know that, oh, because I'm this age, I'm supposed to do this now. I'm supposed to have this responsibility, because you already gave them the things that come with responsibility at 6.
Mm. Trust me, I know. I have family members that, man, this dude asking for a MacBook at the age of 12. A MacBook, sir? Like, you don't need a MacBook for nothing. But that sense of entitlement. And
That's
and I guess
crazy.
because it's not that point that it's trying to hate. It's just like, man, it made me work hard. It made me understand what I need. But now and I see it with some. I think some people joke, some people dead serious with it. Like, I can't believe I got to pay bills now. Well, that's not, I can't. It was so much easier when I was a child. Oh yeah, that's what I knew it was gonna be hard.
Right.
But once again, I've been paying bills since I never had anybody else pay my phone bill ever,
I did.
ever.
I did. But when I was 16, that's when I got my first cell phone, and I paid that $50 Metro bill. And then when I could afford to get T-Mobile, I did that deposit and I leased that phone, and that phone had a camera on it, and it got better and better. But I was in charge of
Oh
paying.
yeah, but you see. Okay, let's see. Once again, you're a little younger than me. See, that's how things have evolved so quickly in the past
Mhm.
20 years. It's crazy. Okay, but man, when I tell you, like it was it? I think it was AT&T. I had. I was on my one of my no, I was on. It wasn't Verizon. What was before Verizon? Somebody tell us what was the
Bell
big cell
South.
phone? What was it?
Was it Bell South?
Not Bill South, but no, it was red. It was something red in it.
Um,
Dang.
I don't know.
Well, I know we had one. It was one of my aunt, and she the main reason I started working at the age of 16 so I can get me a cell phone because she refused to pay my cell phone bill and give me a cell phone. So you know what? I'm gonna get me a job, a job. Mr. D713 got him a job. Okay, not just hustling and working on houses and all this stuff I used to do. I'm talking about like a 9 to 5. I started working at Eckers Pharmacy. Okay,
Edgar.
man, please. Eckers Pharmacy. I'm talking about before the transition to CVS. And I'm like, man, it's cool. I'm okay. I'm paying my cell phone bill. Guess what else? I wanted to get a car. Before I got a car, man, I realized adults would jip you out of anything. I wanted to drive. I would drive my aunt's car. My aunt
Mhm.
had this black Camry. Tell me why I was paying $300 a month for insurance, my own car insurance, and I would drive the car maybe on weekends sometimes.
Oh,
One day I took the time and thought, I am getting effed out this situation. This
oh,
ain't the business.
oh yeah. I never,
But it
I never
was,
had a car because all of my brothers had cars. I never wanted to drive because whenever I wanted to go somewhere, they would take me or somebody else would take me. My mom never
but that's
drove
a, that's
her
another
ice.
gender role though, because you can't be no loser dude out here getting dropped off trying to get some coochie. You
Yeah,
can't do
that's
that.
true. That's true.
You can't do that. There's gonna be problems. You're gonna get ridiculed out the building. You got to be INDPNT or whatever Boosie say. But
Let me play this voicemail.
This is the exact reason why you want to keep pedophile homosexuals away from your children.
what
The top,
reason is that?
the topic, I guess.
This
I
is an
don't know.
interesting conversation because I actually listened to a podcast earlier where I commented, and
Time
I
to nine.
find it difficult to have open and honest conversations with people of the trans experience because they get very angry if you don't adhere to
What they
their
want.
definitions. For example, I don't adhere to cis because I'm a woman. They don't like you saying natural born female. The fact of the matter is that you cannot change your sex. No amount of hormones, no amount of surgeries will change your biological makeup. And for me, especially male to female trans women, I definitely feel it's misogyny for a man to have experienced male privilege and now you get to tell me as a woman I have to accept you. It's just terrible.
Mm.
Okay.
You guys got to get to the messages faster.
Oh yes, sir.
Man,
You guys
I'm
had
glad
16
I'm
listeners,
not.
and you went down
Hold on, hold
to
on, hold on,
6.
hold on. Before you play this next one, I
Yeah.
know this is you're editing to this. Oh, and I ain't gonna do something. But man, every bit of my body was, boy, you don't it's like what? I see. Hold on. I'm gonna address this. Big body bands, man. I'm man. I know you be on the stereo thing, Shan. Hey, I appreciate all y'all listening, man. I really do. We have fun. We enjoy. We have our conversations. We'll get to y'all. We'll have fun with y'all. And we appreciate y'all listening to us. But you don't
Yeah.
run nothing over here, player. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't. I saw somebody do that. Somebody else stuff. Man, you ain't no coach. But go ahead. I'm sorry. This is
That
natural.
I can respect. Like you're not gonna let your son do something, then you're not gonna let your daughter do it. It's different than saying you're not gonna let your son do something because it's feminine. You know what I mean?
You got
You remember when something happened, like a shift happened in allowing boys to wear pink polos, that light pink color polos,
his
and it
name
was like, oh
was
my god,
Young Dro.
you
His
wear.
name was Young Dro.
I'm just
What's the name of that song?
saying,
Bounce left to right and let your shoulder lean. Yeah, yeah, he did that.
I'm just like,
That
it's
that
a
came from Atlanta.
yeah, but I don't know. Like certain things are just unnecessary. I remember when um I first got pregnant and I didn't know what I was having, and I
Hmm.
purposely, before I had kids, I hated the fact that people automatically gave children colors. Girls, the whole section of girl stuff is pink. The whole section of boy stuff is green and blue. And that's how you know if you're having a girl or a boy. So I purposely made my whole registry yellow, light green, and the toys were like any child could play with the toy, because I hated the fact that society is deciding what colors can be associated with my child.
Hey, it's all gang related, baby. See,
Let them know, bro. Can't be coming on nobody telling them we need to hurry up.
exactly.
Oh,
They always
impatience.
be tripping. 103.109. You are now tuning in to She Gets It Pod and 713 Drake. Make
Love
sure
it.
you send them claps in, holla, and then make sure you follow these two.
Love it.
Hey, happy holidays.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, hold on, let me say this real quick. I am jealous. I always say I wanted to sing. I wish I could sing, but this app make me really want to sing.
Man, you should have been on the listening to the show me and Greg did
No, I
last.
listened to one. I listened to one with Greg. I did. That's what I'm saying
Oh, it
again.
was
I'm like,
amazing.
I would be on here singing all day. That's all I got to do, sing. I won't have to. I won't have to talk about much.
It was
I was.
amazing.
Well, I think there is a big problem. And I think people are failing to get this. Okay? A bird does not think that it is a lion. We need, as a people, we need to start learning to do what we're designed to do, what we're born to do for. I'm not comparing this to animals. I'm just saying in general. You know what I'm saying? Because people want to go into compare for animals. But no, a boy does not need to be playing with no fucking doll. And who am I to tell him that he doesn't need to? Because boys don't play with dolls. Boys don't, you know what I'm saying, do stuff females do. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't think something is wrong with you because you're telling yourself that it's okay, there's something mentally wrong with you. And I think a lot of people skipping past mental disorders. You just you're accepting it.
Mm, that's interesting.
You're right. I don't run nothing over here. This is your show.
And it's boring. It's extremely boring.
Oh my god, I love your opinions. I appreciate your opinion.
A lot of people just skipping the fact that they don't think nothing's mentally wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? Like if I sat here and ate an orange like an apple, you know what I'm saying, without peeling the skin off, wouldn't y'all think something is wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? We need to learn on learn to be what we are than what we're trying to be. And I don't mean that in a career and go way. I mean as in a physical way. Are all girls feminine? No. Are all guys masculine? No. No, they're not. You know what I'm saying? But just being what you are, you don't need all those things all the time. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Everybody don't
Um.
have to have kids, but y'all can't be messing with these kids' fucking minds like that. Because you be having them growing incorrectly, mentally disabled, have these disorders, and they think they can carry on with life with that.
Mm.
Hmm. That's
A lot of people
interesting.
that's what's wrong with them right now is because of shit that people let them do. So what happens to a boy who plays with a doll? and he
He
just
may
get
become a
comfortable
fashion
with it.
designer.
Eventually, he gonna want to dress like one. You know what I'm saying? And that, no, there's something wrong with that. And there's definitely something wrong with a female trying to act like a dude. You know what I'm saying? Especially that. And if no one sees a real, if I'm not even asking for everyone to see and to see a complete understanding, but if you guys could just feel me on this, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta learn to be what we are. Period. Period. Learn to be what we are, what we're chosen to be, what we already been chose to be. Cause you making them changes is not changing your spirit, man. You're not changing nothing. You only running from what you really are.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Can I start
Okay.
on? Oh, we got more messages. What I keep got? Thank y'all for leaving messages.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. Let me before I forget.
Okay.
So that my man here, I appreciate his leaving comments because opinion is necessary for this
Yeah.
topic. But when he said know who you are, that's what the name of an episode when I had once again, that was the name of the episode. Two part. My cousin's gay.
Hmm.
How do you tell somebody who they are? How do you do that when you're not in their shoes? You know, it's like I used to, people used to get mad because I used to see a dude in middle school. This dude was like 300 pounds, 6'4" in middle school. All the coaches used to get hot because he didn't play football. He had a little squeaky voice like this, big as hell. But he didn't want to play football. And
Yeah.
people like bullying him, want to fight him because he didn't want to play football. You are meant to play football. I wish I had a body like you.
Yeah.
You gonna force him to do something that he's not interested and want to do. You
It's
know what I
like that.
mean?
Like six. He was 6'2" in high school when we were in like what the 10th grade, and he was like a good like 210, and he didn't
Hmm.
want to play basketball. He didn't want to play football, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
what do you do with all your bigness? Like, what are you gonna do with it? And he just no.
Draw, watch anime, whatever he want to do. That's the thing. He can do whatever he wants to do because he has the ability to do that. That's what we should be able to. We should have the right to enjoy and love and be happy and explore. And same thing, right? Like when we were talking about dolls, what are action figures? You know what I mean? You because these things are meant to mold people, try to put them in a certain. Once again, it's about structure. It's meant to put people in a certain position to do what propaganda wants them to do. You know what I mean? It goes back to how do the parent want to raise their child? Like it's to the point where it's people are trying to go from once again very little liberal or very way of thinking. Let me see what this child can do on their own. I don't suggest that because that's not, once again, this is not something I subscribe to, but I can
Yeah.
respect somebody else doing it, you know? But and I'm like, but you got to be careful because once again, it can be dangerous because that's a child at the end of the day. And I do believe adults are here to mold children. Now you got some, and I think some adults are using children as an experiment at time, and I think
Yeah.
some adults are using children as you will do whatever I tell you to do. If you don't do it, and unfortunately, I worked in people. Y'all don't know I worked for CPS for numerous years and worked for the best interest of children.
Hmm.
I know parents that killed their kids because they didn't do what they wanted to do. Not even by being gay or homosexual, because they
Hmm.
didn't do enough push-ups. They weren't tough enough. They weren't smart enough.
Hmm.
Okay. So these type of pressures that I understand y'all won't do anything like that. But when you leave this in this mindset, it's extremes. It's a spectrum. Okay. Like once again, make sure y'all go and watch the movie Transhood. I know, and if you can't sit down and watch the movie, and
Yeah.
because you can observe something, that I think we have to do some personal growth within ourselves as well.
Yeah.
Because once again, I can see some people. I know some people in my family. Oh, I can't even watch this. Well,
Hmm.
how can we open our mouths to judge someone else, and we want to give the time to listen and understand them. You know,
Yeah.
because once again, me watching this, I've grown because I can see the perspective of many different people, and I can have empathy for them. I don't have to completely agree with everything saying, but I can see where they're coming from. So, and
Right.
that's why I say with the Phoenix, I knew. I didn't say I knew, but Phoenix was really young to think like that, and it came to about. It was the parents really trying to, I wouldn't say force it.
Yeah.
Avery, he's gonna be, he got the privilege to do what he want to do and live his life. And when I saw he had colored hair, I'm like, okay, they let him do what he want to do, anything he want to do.
I didn't the
You
house.
know, you
I
know.
get
Jay was, I think Jay and Lena is the ones that I'm like, their story right there is something I said a lot of people could hear. But having Jay take them hormone shots, and when I know, what's my guy name? I know he done left a bunch of comments since we talking. What's up, y'all? Dang God, I've been to school. I was in college. I was at junior college. You may not become a full different sex, but they be coming close. I knew this chick. She was a little heavy set. She played basketball for the junior college, and I remember she was gone for like a whole. I think she was gone for like a semester. She came back. Beard on the stick is mine. I'm like, what in the world you been doing, ma'am?
Stop. Wait. Let me play these voicemails and I gotta hear the rest of this. Hold on.
Okay,
And that beard almost thick as mine.
man.
Man, a doll is a doll. Like, don't be putting that on kids. Kids can do what they want. There's imagination for a reason. Let them be kids.
Mm.
If one of my kids is to ever choose a gender, all I gotta do is set a belt on fire and hit them with it out of respect.
So you
Boy.
see what I was just talking about? Go ahead.
Hey, yo, 713 Drake about the fashion designer shit. I completely agree with you. And that's what I meant. Like, you don't need all the masculinity, you don't need all the femininity as well. You know what I'm saying? Because you can take small things from that, and that can be something big too. That could be something really big. Because just like what you're saying, they could be a fashion designer, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying, they can see that little bit of fashion. But I mean, besides that,
I feel you. I
And
think we on the
speaking on
same.
being who you are, like, who are you to tell a boy you can't be who you are and want to play with a doll? Like, that's just counterproductive.
This is Riley McPherson checking in with the She Gets It Pod and 713 Drake.
What's up?
Yes, I think kids should choose their own gender. Because without a gender, you haven't got kids. This is Riley McPherson checking out.
Okay, Riley.
Appreciate you,
I'm
Riley.
not saying that. What I'm saying is people need to learn on what to be what they already are. Well, what do you think that's already wrong with you? No, I don't know what their shoes is like. But does that mean for a superficial change, a physical change, a haircut? Do they need to work out? Do they need to get abs? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are they trying to become taller? Like, those
Hey,
things. So if you're talking about like them changing their sex because of like a bad experience, does that really fix it? No, I don't believe that will actually fix anything. Learning to deal what you already are dealing with is the best way to become strong.
ooh,
You know what
ooh,
I'm
ooh.
saying?
Hey, I got something.
I just
I
feel
got to
like to
say.
me that's cowardice. You know what I'm saying? That's running. I'm not saying making changes to bad is bad to yourself, but I mean, what have you really done to really try to understand what you already are?
Okay.
Once again, this empathetic Drake right here, and our empathetic. This is just Drake. Period. All right. Women getting, or people getting cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
It's right. It's self esteem. You know. Um. I know guys out here wanting. I said this before. This dude I know, he's 5'2". He's getting shin extensions to be taller.
That's
Now,
crazy.
anything up to, you see, we say that's crazy, but he's like, he got low, guys have low self esteem too. You know what I mean? And I can boost them. I'll try to hype them up, man. F these women of the streets. Do you be happy? Blah blah blah. But it's so much I can do to make him feel comfortable. You know what I mean? It's so much, but Same thing with women going to get the BBLs. Okay, they getting the mommy makeovers and things. That's them.
Still
Like you, you can try to change their personalities. You can say all these things, but it's still not going to make that full difference that maybe that surgery is going to do. And I don't like cosmetic surgery. Okay, I'm like because I like once again I I know where you're coming from, dang God, and once again, but I'm also empathetic. I can see their perspective. I understand why they're doing what they're doing. Is it my cup of tea? No, but I ain't sipping their tea. That's their cup.
Yeah.
Let's get to these messages.
My kids have a whole range of toys. I don't care what the boys play with or what the girls play with. It's all toys. It's so cute when my sons are playing with baby dolls. And I tell them, you guys you're gonna be such a good daddy when you grow up. It's learning. Toys are about learning, and saying that they have to be separated by gender is ridiculous. They're there for the kids to learn.
I see. I'm on the fence on that one, but I will thank you so much for your comment. But I see that perspective fully.
Every parent's different. Like,
Absolutely.
if I had a son, I wish I had a son, but I didn't. I don't. I didn't.
For
If I
you.
had a son and he was playing with his sister's doll in a way of putting the baby in the stroller or putting the baby on top of his truck and pushing
Baby
him,
on baby. Go ahead,
I
I'm
would have.
sorry.
But if I see my son over in a corner with the baby doll, putting the baby doll under his shirt and having the baby doll touch his nipple, then we would have that conversation because it's a certain level that I feel like I would allow as a mom
Man,
with my son playing with certain.
It's very simple. That's what I'm saying. This thing is so simple. You know what I'm saying? It's either you're male or female. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have other things branch along the side. Um, but no, I'm just saying like learning how to be what you are, what you got, what you got. You know what I'm saying? This is all you got. You know what I'm saying? If you is for changing it, then I mean just be expected. It may not be the same. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you got a damaged spirit like that if you just can't accept what you already are. You know what I'm saying? But you are what you are, but that doesn't change the fact that you may have different attractions than other people, which are also correct. So I'm bearing, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to bear, you know what I'm saying? Or listen to all types of options and stuff that's available. Because I know, I mean, I have a strong point, but I know the people have some strong points too. But I haven't really heard one to where that's really combating mine, you know?
Okay.
I just find it. I mean, I like it. I find it so unique because when he's speaking, he's making strong points for the other. Like he's making points on the other side. He just said people have a damaged spirit. People have damaged spirits out here. That's
Yeah.
real, you know. And how people deal with that damaged spirit is up to them. You know, it's not up to us. I can tell people to go to therapy all day, but if they're like, weed is all I need, I'm like, hey, okay, that's what you gonna do.
Yeah. Facts.
Hello, this is the truth speaking.
Hello.
What's up?
This is the truth speaking.
Hello.
This question should not even be entertained.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
nonsense.
Okay. From what perspective of truth? Go ahead.
I respect your opinion.
I've heard, you know what I'm saying, the spectrum. I've heard, you know what I'm saying, but what about learning to be what you already are? Being comfortable in that. I feel like being comfortable in your own skin is the most comfortable thing you can do. That's the most important thing. If you're not comfortable in that, you're going to spend half your lifespan trying to change it into something you think made it. What happened to all the people who said they made mistakes on stuff like that? What about that?
It happened.
He just made the point again.
It happened. And he's making the point because it works both ways. For instance,
Exactly.
I have to deal with having two daughters with two sort sort of different skin tones, but not really. And then I have to deal with them having two different hair textures. And I have to deal with a daughter's hair is thicker and curlier and thinks her sister's hair is longer than hers, it's straighter than hers, it's better than hers. And I have to completely pour in the same room to let them know that nobody's better than the next person, and to love
Mm.
your skin and to love your hair and to not be bothered by these things because it's pointless. And you
But
have to think, where do your kids get this mindset? They get this mindset from seeing what they
the
see
media, the
in
peers.
YouTube,
Yep.
TV, at school, in videos, songs they hear. If they don't see themselves and they don't see other people being told that they're pretty, that their hair is nice, that this is something, they're going to think something otherwise. And the thing is, like, no matter what you feel or you hate about yourself, it has to be like 10 more people outside of yourself pouring into you to tell you that there's nothing wrong with it.
And it sounds like my man Dane. It sounds like I have a high self esteem. Sound like he has a high self esteem too. And
Yeah.
it's people out here that do not have high self esteems. And as Cat Williams say, there's so much we can do. That's on yourself, you know. So what people got to do to work on they self esteem is what they got to do to work on their self esteem. And once again, man, let's listen. Let's hear this one, and I'm gonna go into a little discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear from the truth again. Hope this is
I
true.
don't know, Dan God. All you say is like you are who you are. Like I get it, but at the same time, kids are who they are. If they like dolls, that's who they are. If they like dresses, that's who they are. Like you can't
Yeah, that's what I'm
just
saying.
like dismiss that. Same with girls. If girls want to go and jump in the mud and do whatever, be a tomboy, that's who she is. That's who they are. And that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, you can't tell a kid you can't do this because that's not what boys do. You can't. Because boys can do whatever they want and girls can do whatever they want. As long as they're not hurting nobody, not hurting themselves, they're just playing with dolls. They're playing dress up. It's a part of everything.
Okay. And once again, thank y'all so much for the comments. Thank y'all for the claps, the likes, the follows. We greatly appreciate y'all. Once again, this is Drake 713, and she gets his pod. Drake 713 is really Mr. D 713 with everything culture. Where we try to explore different cultures, backgrounds, and traditions. But man, and let me give you an example. And I said this on the show where know who you are. I've always like thicker, fat, chubby, larger size women. Always. This is not a fad for me, okay? This is not a trend. This is something since I was a little boy. I liked curvier, larger women. Period. That's just been me. And it was to the point my homeboys once again try to get to the point to shame me. Oh, this skinny girl look good. This and that. I'm like, I don't like her. That ain't my thing. It just never was, you know. But they would try to force me into their what they saw as beauty into what should be beauty for me. Does that make sense? To the point that I have to start, hey man, this is what I like. Go on, do what you want to do. Be happy. Well, they should start to tease me. Oh, he liked the fat girl. Okay, I'm enjoying it. And now all their wives are fat. But like, and I'm like, welcome to the club because beauty is beauty who you love and who you want to be with. Okay, and it's just to that aspect. And I see some women on Twitter, it can tell me you just like y'all don't really like fat women. Y'all just like them in on here, but y'all don't like them in public. It's certain guys that's gonna front. There's certain people gonna be that. But it's going back to that point of you're gonna have people that's gonna appreciate you. Okay. It may not be the person who you want to appreciate you, but you're going to have people that will appreciate you. Okay. And everybody doesn't know that. Everybody doesn't understand that. And that's why I've seen some chicks that like I thought was very pretty. They go and get a surgery, do this, and that. And you know what? the person that they thought was gonna like them really ain't what they thought it was gonna be. And now I don't even like, it doesn't matter for me any longer. But somebody that could have liked you and be somewhere, you ain't what it is. And then it's not about image because
Mm-hmm.
it showed me your self esteem is not that high, and you're willing to change yourself to appease for somebody that don't really care about you in the first place. Does that make sense? So when someone's dealing with something like that, and this is just your weight, your how you look, just imagine how someone feel deep down inside, just not how they look, but how they behave and how society looks at it. Because it's going to be a trend. If we start, okay, you can't love who you like who you love, and believe in that. Okay, then guess what? If you like big women, you got a problem. If you like dark skinned women with natural, oh, like Shan was just talking about hair. Do you know how the struggles that some women have with hair, especially black women having
Yeah.
natural kinky curly hair?
Yeah.
Like this is serious. Like it's to the point. It's a work environment, and like we just got finished saying, your main thing is be who you are. It's been to the point people are not allowed to be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I grow
Mm-hmm.
a nice, luscious beard. And in certain places, I'm not allowed to wear my beard. But can I be who I am? But I know, and I'm not trying to make light of it. But and once again, as a child, I'm not for what, like in my household. No, the child is not going to make a decision to get your change um what you want to be. But I don't think you can influence your child. That's the main thing you can be an influence for your child. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
think you can quote unquote you can try to train them, but it may backfire. You like with the makers of you. I always ask, how was you brought up? What was your relationship with your parents? What were your siblings like? Who were your role models? I see it on very few, but I do hear it when people say, "Oh, my parents were my role models,"
Mm-hmm.
and some people say, my parent was my anti role model. I don't want to be nothing like them.
That's me. Like
That's
I'm
me
not.
too. That's
I'm
me
not.
too, y'all. Like,
But there's more ways about my mom that I'm completely resistant to, and being as a
mhm.
woman. And there's characteristics of my father that I'm happy I have, but at the same time, I would never pick a man like him.
Mm.
So
No.
it works both ways. But the
I
reason
always say
why
I'm something different.
can you train your child to be who you want is I've seen a lot of people that I grew up with have strict parents and parents who probably were troublesome when they were young and they tried so hard to give their kid everything that they didn't and make them go to church and make sure they have this and make sure they're around these people. Some
Hmm.
kids are just resistant. Some kids are blatantly going to go left when you want them to go right. And you have to get to a point as a parent to be like, I provided, I showed up, I was preventative, I was open, I was available, I was there, and this is what this child chose to do.
They chose the streets. The street life chose them.
That's just what it is. And until that child gets to a point where they're just like, oh, okay, I'm tired now. I'm exhausted now. The next 20 years of my life is jacked up. Now I want to listen. Then that's what's going to happen. I have a best friend that's um, in her late 40s. She has a son that's 25 years old. He got locked up when he was 17, was out for 6 months, got caught up in a line of robberies, and now he won't be out until she's 80.
Damn. Excuse my language, but once again, two
But
words. Damn.
to me, she provided everything as far as you have this choice. I'm here. I'm available. You need for nothing. I ask you questions. You could come to me whenever. And his attitude about everything was just like resistant.
Yeah.
So sometimes
Well,
there's some things you can't do. This is just who this child is.
yeah, and I'm trying to think. Once again, it goes back to nature versus nurture. Like my brother. Okay, I have a brother. sibling, younger brother, 20 months younger than me. Okay, him and my mother have scary similarities. Okay, my mother, she was the um, the misbehaved sibling in the family. Okay, and I know it was some influence on that too, because she used to think all this stuff was real funny, getting in trouble. Like she used to tell us stories how she used to get suspended from school, and she thought it was just so funny. Her and my brother would just laugh and laugh and laugh. And I'm like, y'all are psychopaths, okay?
Mm.
And on the other end, like I'm looking at me. A lot of people in my family, well, the older people in my family that sit here, they're like, Drake shouldn't be where he's at in life. This type of things that boy sings drive a lot of people crazy, blah, blah, blah. But it's still an opportunity. It was still around me, it's still there. My mother, at a certain age, that she realized, okay, she's made mistakes in her life. Okay. She made mistakes with me, but it was certain influence, like we were just saying. My mother was kind of like and I hate to say anti, it seems so harsh, but she did some things in my life that I'm like, I never want to do that. I don't want to make that mistake.
Yeah.
Um, I asked the question before. And this is a question for everyone that's listening right now as well. We want to hear your feedback. This is a question for everyone. What is the worst advice that you've ever received?
Mm.
Because, I receive some things now, me being a financially responsible, pretty high credit score individual I am, college graduate that's working hard.
Speak
It
it.
was it was one of those things that I was taught, not just several times. You don't pay a bill until you get the disconnect notice.
Oh no.
But and then once again, how many kids are taught that?
Too
Hold on.
many.
Okay, let's jump to this message right here.
Let's see.
I agree with that. I feel like we're a byproduct by our community, and like as much as our parents try to mold us into, you know, capable adults or, young adults, the community and the people that we keep around us affects who we become too. And so a lot of our raising, being raised, is happens in like school and like your friends and stuff like that. It's the company you keep.
Mm-hmm. Your
Nice.
play friends, your playgrounds, and your playthings. R.I.P. Mama dear.
Mm.
Facts.
Listen. Man, so what's the worst advice I've ever had? I hate when people say kill people with kindness even if they fucked you over.
Mm.
I'm not giving you nothing if you ever do me dirty. You got one time to show me your butt, and I'ma dismiss you. I'ma delete your existence in my mind mentally, emotionally. I'm going to see you and say nothing, see you feel nothing. If you are on fire, I want to spit on you, and that's just how I am.
Mm. Okay, I heard that. I hear that. Okay, on
Mm.
fire. Okay, don't. Okay, let me write this down. Don't cross Shannon.
I, I I just realized what forgiving does for people, but at the same time, that's my nephew snoring. At the same time, I just I think forgiving people who repeatedly don't get better or change their behavior is now enabling. It's not being forgiving. It's not being patient. It's not being willing to. It's you're enabling them to continue their foolery, which they're going to continue on other people. So until you show them lessons in their behavior, that will never change.
Mm. Okay, I see it. Okay, let's see what these messages. So once again, what's the worst advice that y'all ever received before?
Mm.
I can't really think of I
Okay.
can't really think of any bad advice that I've gotten. But I will say that something that I've experienced is lack of molding, where I feel like maybe my parents were very focused on themselves, and it was almost like parenting did not happen. And there were never real conversations that would have helped me moving forward. But luckily, I had people in my life who were attentive enough to realize that, there's something wrong there. So let me guide her. And so I feel like, I've been able to manage well, but I can't say that it was because of my parents. It's because I was able to learn through fortunate and unfortunate events that have molded me, if that makes sense.
I agree. I am the same way. My mom never believed in discipline. She had 5 of us. Living in a house where her was like living in like a jungle of, if you want to eat and you want people to respect you, you fight them until somebody's bleeding. And she would be sitting there crocheting or sewing and not. And my father was very like, you know where I'm at, come see me. You know my number, you call me. I'm not supposed to do that. And so with both of them, how they parented or did not parent, they kind of like benefited off of me not being the trouble kid, or they benefited off of me being goal oriented, or they benefited off of me not being the kid that wanted to be in the streets and get in trouble and just get into things. They were like, okay, we have a kid we don't got to worry about. She don't need much. We got to make sure she got basics, but she's very independent. At the same time, okay, I'm glad that was my personality, but some children become better adults by better guidance as parenting. And if you have a good child and you don't nurture those details that is within your child that want to be, I remember craving being disciplined and I couldn't get it. I remember somebody to come check me, doing things spitefully so you can see me, so you can come check me. And we see it today of women, teenagers that turn into women who are just out here acting ridiculous.
Hey, I was going to ask you that. Do you do that in your relationships though?
No.
Okay, good.
When I was in my 20s, if we argue in the car, I will get out and I will slam the door for a reaction. And then I had to learn.
Let me tell you.
Oh no,
the reaction you would have had with me. Go ahead.
I said, this man gonna put this thing in park and he gonna run up and he gonna tell me, don't slam my door. He's gonna tell me, you were being disrespectful. Let me talk to you in this way. Or, I had to learn in a relationship that I had in college.
So you did used to do it though. That's why I asked. You did
do
it.
I was saying I don't do it now.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm talking about did you do shucks.
Yeah, like when I was younger, yeah, I did it for reactions because can't nobody check me. I ain't never been checked. You're not about to do anything. Even growing up in a house of older brothers, the way that we checked each other was we fought. We broke things. We threw knives. It got ridiculous. But
okay. I love this. This is elevating. Because this is going into more relationships because it's not only words advice, because that's a culture. Same thing. Yeah. I'm learning try not to curse at my wife so much because I grew up in a household that people loved each other, but they cursed a lot, Mm-hmm. And she didn't know how to handle it all the time because, why are you cursing at me? I'm like, oh, you cursing me? I'm not cursing, right? I'm just cursing. That's my thing. But you have to understand when you get in a relationship with somebody else too. And I've talked to girls that used to do this shit she used to do, and I knew it. I knew something must have happened. They trying to get a reaction out of me. I'm a little bit wiser than some guys. Like if you slam my door, I'm driving off on you. I'm going to have you think, and I'm cold or not, cold blooded as it is me. You go learn how to act better with me. I ain't gonna come out. I'm not going to incriminate myself over you. I'm not.
I had a boyfriend when I was 18. He was 26.
Oh Lord.
And, he was gonna go pick up something illegal, and I wanted to just ride with him. And something he said to me, and I caught an attitude, and I put my feet up on his dashboard in the car. And he was like, "Put your feet down." And I kept like kicking the dashboard. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna take you home." And he took me home, got to the cul-de-sac. I got out, and he was like, "Now you could stand there, you could think about it, and then if I feel like it, I might come pick you up and we can go. But if I don't feel like it and you're gonna have an attitude, then just go in the house." And it was childish things like that that you have to be like, okay, yeah, I deserve this because I'm not about to be driving around nobody but no attitude, thinking about to disrespect my things and my vehicle and just ride. And he came back and my attitude was checked. And if I feel like if I got checked as a teenager or as a little girl to respect other people's things just because I'm not getting my way, he wouldn't have to do that. So there's just certain things that I grew out of, and I dealt with different personalities and relationships to have a disagreement with somebody I'm in a relationship with, and know that I don't have to raise my voice to get my point across.
Mm-hmm.
And have a man say to me in a respectful manner, I don't have to cuss you out. I don't even have to use cuss words. But what I'm about to tell you before we even discuss what I talk about, you're not gonna talk over me, and you're not gonna raise your voice. And if
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna raise
show you better than I can tell you. That's all I would say. I'm gonna show my actions speak louder than my words.
That's all he had to say is we not about to raise no voices in here. And
Nah, he had to leave you. He had to leave. He had to. You wouldn't. You just said you wouldn't learn. Trust me. And that's how I
yeah,
feel with some things. It's like I'm thankful I've grown with my significant other, but I know some other women that I'm like, ooh, they didn't had daddy issues. Like, hold on, I'm gonna get into this one another story. Hold on, let's play this. Let's play these. Hey y'all, we here.
So, I mean, I don't have kids, but I would say, when you guys are saying like your parents are not your role models, I would say that there are aspects of my parents that I find inspiring, but maybe like in their careers or whatever. But other than that, I can't really say that I feel that way. Or there are a lot of things that I feel I would do completely different as a parent, especially when it comes down to truly communicating and having that closeness with my kids, where it's a genuine trust and a genuine reliance where they can actually come to me and it's real, and it's a genuine thing that happens. Especially also having real conversations with them as well.
I let my kids talk to me about everything. Like, I've had Anya ask me, like, why don't you live with a man? Why don't you live, Ari's dad or my dad? And I'm just like, sometimes people are better separate. I have to feel like I could be a better parent to you not living in the same house as your father because he's not mature. And that, I feel, is a mature way to explain to a child that you don't have to be in a relationship with the person that you have a child with if it doesn't work. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, I'm not a believer in staying for children and being toxic, showing examples of a horrible relationship for the sake of a child seeing their mom and dad in the same household, because I've seen it, and that made me not want marriage.
Okay.
I think for me, the worst advice was don't let people see your weakness. Don't let people see you cry. Because at the end of the day, like, I was young and I did that. I didn't let people see me cry. So I cried when I was behind doors, and that carried on to my adult life. And that fucked me up. Like, I mean, I'm not there anymore. I moved past it. I've learned to work through my shit, but like there was a bit of my life where I was just stuck in myself, and man.
Well, for me, I was the only child, well, pretty much for a long time until my mom had got remarried. And I'm almost 30 and I have a 16-year-old sister. But
Wow.
nevertheless,
She's the only child too.
my situation basically is my mother is a narcissist. So that was a very interesting and still is a very interesting dynamic. So I chose to live with my dad when I was like in 8th grade. So really I was raised, after that I was really raised by him. And even when she had full custody, I still kind of felt like my dad had more of a role, but that's a lot of responsibility to put on a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you are a teenage girl growing up. So, yeah. Like, I'm not so angry with him because I feel like he was not ready, but at the same time, there are still things he could do.
Girls and teenage girls are not easy.
They're not easy, and I always wondered, like, who would I be personality-wise if I was raised by my dad in Philadelphia? I'd probably be a stripper.
Whoa. Hey. Well, you got your OnlyFans going, so.
Yo, what's up? You know what it is.
What's up, Kevin?
Okay, about what you were saying. She gets it. I believe what you're saying, but it does kind of fall back to like, for me, it falls back to like, are you just naturally that kind of person? You know what I mean? Because I think you can be naturally shy and submissive, and you can be naturally just off the chains and like, man, I don't give a fuck what you say or what you do. I'm gonna just do what I want to do. Yeah, you'll mature after that, but there is a dynamic where I think some people are just who they are. So like you just off the you just off the chains. You just, you know what I'm saying, you outspoken, like you just, you know what I'm saying, you just got a little wildness in you. Yeah, you could have been checked, but some people get checked a whole lot in their youth and they just don't, it's just not in their nature to flip.
See, I like what you're saying. I got some comments and some conversations in a second, but back in the day, I used to really think, man, should I become a pimp? But we'll listen to this message right here, man. Okay, let's see.
And to hit this note, like my parenting challenge, to be real with y'all, is being strict enough and, being hard on them, but not breaking them. Because it's like, it seems like kids are so vulnerable and fragile these days. Like, I don't ever want to be in a position or the situation where they're too fragile and they do something, like the whole preteen and teen suicide rate are like skyrocketed just since the last 8 years. So it is a balance for me. Is just put my foot in their ass, but then not going all the way because these kids are fragile these days, especially with the internet and their non-exposure to stuff, and it's just not. They ain't have it like we did when we was coming up. They ain't get we ain't have a bullying campaign.
Yes, we did.
When we was coming up, we just got bullied.
You had to fight. We had bullying campaigns and videos and stuff like that. And you just had to whoop his ass, his or her ass. That was the thing. But and now we have a president that was a bully, and that was a whole ordeal. Thankfully, he's out now. He's getting out. But what Kevin's trying to say, you don't put the whole foot in the ass. You put like half. Okay.
I struggle with these girls because I wasn't raised to be soft.
I knew you was about to say to be soft.
They are soft. I could talk to them a certain way, and it's like tears. Like I just stomped on them, and
that's why I don't want a daughter. I want a girl, but I'm soft. Like if I know I'm gonna be soft on the girl, because she start crying, I'm gonna start crying with her. I already know that.
Listen, even like every time a birthday comes up, especially for my 6-year-old, it turns into an apology. Like her birthday card turns into an apology. Like, you know what? I'm enjoying. Like even her birthday card, I have it right here. Her birthday is on Thursday. I got her a birthday card. Her sister got her birthday card, and it slightly turns into an apology. Like I'm enjoying you growing up. It's exciting to see you figure out new things, but at the same time, I want to apologize if I don't come off the way that you expect me to be, if I'm not soft enough, or if I'm not this. Personality wise, I don't know how to be otherwise. But I'm just trying to figure out a way to give you a balanced version of the parent you need. Because it's kind of like I don't feel like I can lean on her dad to pick up half of this parenting thing because he's immature. So I feel like I have to do both. I have to discipline her and I have to be fun with her, but I have to find like a medium. And some days I feel like because it's not balanced time between her dad and me, I'm the bad guy and her dad is like the come with me, but your dad is not doing all this other stuff. And it's like
But
kids this age don't see it, but I know that she'll see it when she's
But
older.
yeah, because that's you sound like that's the routine that I dealt with growing up. Because I love my dad. I was biggest fan. I'm telling you, I tell this story all the time. This experience. 'Cause my homeboy, he grew up with both his parents, and he never understood that waiting on the curb for your dad to come pick you up, or waiting in front of the house, and your mother is waiting near the door, like, and the whole time she probably thinking he ain't coming, you know.
Yeah.
Man, but that you see it in TV shows, you see it and stuff like that. That feeling is beyond and I hate. That's why I say I hate being stood up. The worst thing to get on my bad side is to stand me up, because
Yeah.
I was used to be the last kid get picked up at school, and I used to be waiting on my dad at the end of the walkway, at the end outside the door, looking out the window. He's coming. Oh, he's coming. Just wait. He's gonna come and never show up. Then you get a call later on. Oh, I mean, and you know who got to fix that? Mama got to fix that.
Right.
Mama got to take care of that.
I had
Mama
to
has to do all the damage control and all that. And you just
I,
come in and you give them these false hope and false dreams and shit. And now we're back on it. And mother probably already know it's going to happen again. And
right.
I didn't understand that until I was in high school when my mother passed. When my
Mm,
mother passed, my dad didn't call me. He
mm.
didn't he didn't do nothing. Then just out the blue, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to come. You go come live with me." And I said
Oh no.
verbatim, "I'm gonna beat your ass. You come down here." Because you did this to me once in my life. You did this to me once in my life. And now you just go, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that any longer.
Yeah.
So, and that's when I realized my mother was not like she was trying to protect me. And then once again, I hate that it had to come to her passing, but I
Mm-hmm.
saw so much, and I had a conversation with my dad about this a few years ago. Like, bruh, why? What? He was like, well, your aunts try to keep you away from me, this and this and that. I'm like, that's a lie, man. I had my own cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
You could have called me directly. Your
Mm-hmm.
mama, my grandmother had my number directly. I didn't check on me.
Mm-hmm.
And you have those type of things, and it goes towards, and that's why I tell my homeboy now, my godson, he's going through that phase of he got the opposite. He's been raised by his dad while his mom's not there. And that's a big twist. That's a big twist. Like, not that your mama's dead, your mama just ain't. She's raising her other kids. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I had
Like,
to tell I had to tell his dad to stop promising her things when she was 3.
I'm feeling same thing was being said, and a lot of immature men and even women, because I can see like
Go to the
it happens way more with men, but it happens with women too. But it's hard for kids, man. It's
yeah,
it's
still
hard for us.
yesterday was his birthday. In
Mm.
Thursday's birthday, and he called. No, he texted me yesterday afternoon. And he was like, "My kid didn't call me all day." I'm just so I was like, "You don't."
I know you done dropped a few cuss words in here
No,
already.
I said, I
Um,
said, I said, you don't even talk to her every day, and you
uh-uh.
expect a 6-year-old to remember your birthday. So, I called Anya. I said, Anya, call your dad. It's his birthday, and she called him. She couldn't even look him in the face, and she was like, "Hey," and he was like, "Hey," and she
Real
was
quickly, I want
like,
to make sure it's a timestamp on this one, so you know how to bleep this one out. So 3/22/56. Man, fuck that nigga. What? Excuse me? What?
But that's how immature he is. So they was on the phone and she was like, she had asked him for something. And he was like, I gotta see. But then she hung up and she didn't tell him happy birthday. And I said, I told you it's his birthday. She was like, oh, okay. And that's what you deserve, because if you were involved with her, she would feel a need to remember those.
But I'm telling you, he's gonna blame you for that too. I'm just let you know how things go
That,
roll.
but I don't block you from having this.
What you said, if he's as immature as you saying it is, he's gonna blame you. That's how my little brother is. My little brother, his baby mamas hate him to the point that can spill. I've never seen my nieces physically in my life. I didn't even know I had nieces until 2 years ago, and they're young still. But
Yeah.
but my brother is pissed people off. But it got to the point like since he's locked up right now, I'm trying to make a relationship with them. I'm trying to build something. I want to be like, hey, you my blood. One of them looked exactly like my mama. It's so scary, you know.
No.
And the thing is, he like then put these girls, the mother's life through hell and all this stress, and he locked up. He like, hey man, can you ask my baby mamas to write me? No.
No.
Like, no, hell no. Because why I'm gonna mess up my chances of getting to know my nieces because I'm breaking that cycle. I'm not gonna do that. I'm breaking that cycle. You can see me. I'll be the man for both of us. I ain't their daddy, I'm their uncle. Christmas coming up. Their birthdays are coming up.
Yeah.
No, I'm like I'm trying to think what they want for Christmas, what they want for Thanksgiving. But I'm also what the grades looking like. Time they send you some books.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start checking on reading. I am that uncle. I am that uncle that we go be better. We're gonna break these curses. We're gonna talk about how do we manage budgets. We're gonna talk about dating. We're gonna talk about how do you find love. We're not gonna because the parents look jetto, the mamas look Rashid, but hey,
Right.
Rashid, okay, they daddy a little Rashid, but
Yeah.
you can see you because that's what it took for me. I was around it. That was my environment, but it was something. It was some type of guiding light that shined on me that like, man, I can do better.
Yeah.
So what kind of fool would I be if I don't do the same thing for other children, other people, and especially people that share my lineage and my blood? You know what I mean? All
Thanks.
right, let's jump on these messages. I still got to tell y'all when I'm thinking
Kevin
about becoming a
Morris,
pimp.
yes, I just heard your message. Your voice is just delicate, deep. I love it. I'm sorry, I'm
What
getting
the
all.
hell we doing over here?
Sorry, guys. I just had to say that.
Connect.
Sir, follow me. I just want to hear your voice. It's beautiful.
Watch them get married.
Yeah, my dynamic, because I got 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, so it's just naturally. Shout out to my wife, E. Ruth.
What I tell you?
But
What I say?
I guess the way it broke down is that with the girls, she's the one that like I'm a big softy on them. I put my foot down when I need to. I'll speak up and all that stuff. But the girls know, like, if they get out of line, Roof gonna whip their ass straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that kind of dynamic, and I'm not gonna touch them. So but I'm the backup. I'm the I don't want to say the good cop, but it is a balance with the parents, and parents need to know their dynamic and how they can help, and just it's all about the children. So help out the children more, and try to.
Listen, this man say he
Told
is
you.
to eat root. Listen, sir, you have nothing to worry about. Them kids gonna be great. They got a mother that's smart and intelligent. Got a daddy that's smart and intelligent. I ain't worried about these kids.
She gets it.
What's up?
I love your oh my gosh, Bantu knots. Girl,
Yeah.
I'm not into ladies. I'm just saying. But hey. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. It's cute. It's really
I'm
cute.
about to do it again.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Y'all keep carrying on.
Oh my God. Hey, we gotta keep the peace. Ruth is here.
Yes.
She gets it. That was all about your whole baby father situation. That was all about you. That was all about you
How?
wishing him a happy
He
birthday.
wanted.
You
He just said it.
collectively,
He
you
Oh.
just
and
said
your
it.
daughter wishing him a happy birthday. Ain't no damn 6-year-old remember anybody's birthday. They can barely remember what day it is. You ask them the date, you know what I'm saying? They don't even know. So please, like that's just some tension seeking shit right there.
He's right. He's
Childish.
absolutely correct.
I feel like a kid should be able to come of age and choose his own name.
Mm.
Man, as long as you're under the house of Drake, you will be a Drake. It's like
And you know what?
you
Sometimes
did.
people move on and they get married, and their parents come around and they be like, um, I'm married to your son, right? My baby name is such and such, and they don't even recognize the new name. Some people are just
Mm.
gonna call you whatever they want to
Hey,
call you.
that's a gender role that I have and I stick to. It's like, man, I hold power within my name was been
Yeah.
given what I would share to my children, the uniqueness. You want to change
Mm.
your fur, but like when I have that's the when like my daughter goes off with another guy and you find another guy, if I have a
Mm.
daughter, like man, yeah, you trust him to change your name. I want to trust him as much as you do.
I
You
was
know,
When I was born, my mom gave me her last name, and then when I was 11, uh, my dad said, "Do you want to change your last name to mine?" And I said, "No. All my certificates, my rewards, my books,
hey, that's
and so
ego. That's
I
ego
said, I
right
don't
there.
know. This man took me out his will.
Hey, once again, I'm just letting you know. Hey, would I do the same thing? Maybe if my son, like my son, I don't want to go by Drake anymore. Okay, cool. Let
That
me.
man,
It's not even about being petty. It's just about being real. You know how many other people want to have my name, not just because it's popular, but let me stop. Let's see these messages. Let's see these messages. Hey, grown.
Yeah, so to continue on that, yeah, just so yeah, so 713 Drake, you doing your thing, man. As much time as you can spend with the kids that need it, that need that male role model, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing and it will reap its benefits in the future. You might not see it right now, but it's every
Oh
little
Lord,
word you
I know.
say, every little knowledge you drop, every little gem you do, every little thing you buy for them, or or that time you spend with them is very, very, very essential for their upcoming for their upbringing.
But that's why we doing Kwanzaa this year too, because last year it just clicked. Me and my wife both say, man, all these kids, a lot of these kids out here getting gifts, and they bad as shit.
they don't
I'm
deserve.
like, they don't deserve nothing. And I'm like, why? What's the reason for the season? They don't celebrate Santa. They don't celebrate Jesus. Like, so why are we? Why? It's just you. What you celebrate is Disney. That's what you celebrate. And Disney is the reason for the season. See, I'm talking about. I looked on Facebook and Instagram and the house I was in, like when it was visiting. Man, I saw so much Moana. Lion King, Mulan. What was the other thing popping last year? Frozen. I'm
Man,
like, dang,
look at these little girls.
dang. I was looking around. I don't see Jesus nowhere around here. Okay,
Jesus. Yeah, you know what's so crazy? When I was growing up at Dad's house, we had to pray before we ate for breakfast. We had to pray if we had lunch, and we had to pray for food for dinner. And then when my mom moved to Maryland, and it was just her and us. Eat your food. It wasn't she was less in touch with religion or God. It was just like certain things that I wish she was like, you have to do this. It just wasn't really important. Now, as a mom, I battle with not being super religious because my mom went from going to a Pentecostal church to being a Jehovah's Witness to now she's doing nothing and Catholic and two different churches. So now, like as a mom, I don't identify with no religion. I'm just I'm just open to hearing teachings and perspectives. And my kids eat and they know nothing about praying before your food. And I'm just like, Sean, you want
Hey,
to do you want to bring this about? And it's kind of like if you bring this about, you can't accept it. You can't be like you're praying to this, and it's gonna be questions. What's praying? Well, who are we praying to? Kids are nosy, and it's like it's just something I personally battle with. But what I will say is I do talk to them about the fact that you get to come in the kitchen and pick whatever food you want to eat, and you get to have these things. And there's kids that don't have these things, so it's not that they're blinded by not being compassionate to the fact that they have things that other people don't have. I just don't really involve the ways that I was brought up.
prayer. Well, once again, we were just talking about what are some things that you no longer do, traditions, and that may be one of them. But when I tell you, I pray over even when I eat snacks, like like about
Oh no.
man, when we built our house, we get people to we get preachers to come pray over our house. We have a house party. Like I remember, so once again, my family is very unique. We have
Mhm.
preachers, drug dealers, pimps,
Oh.
police officers, all the whole nine. Okay, we have a spectrum. All right,
Mhm.
and I remember people where we did this big shot, and somebody I ain't gonna say who, but somebody took a prayer over the shots, and my relative that's a preacher just was shaking it like, but they took a shot too. But we got 7 messages. We see y'all. Well, let's see what y'all talking
Oh
about.
yeah,
Appreciate
yeah,
all the
yeah, yeah,
claps and
yeah, yeah,
love,
yeah,
baby.
yeah. You know, we gonna keep it copacetic all the way. I do know. But yeah, they had to get trolled. Your Ruth is all cap. Your Ruth is all cap. All cap
What
cap.
do you mean by that?
Yeah, my bad, your Ruth. I thought it was from the other one. Yeah. I just told them to put their fucking son to sleep. Little son was running around like, beep, 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 beep. Like, man, it is too late. Put him to sleep.
Oh no. The only reason why mines are asleep is because when I record, if they can't be quiet, you go night night.
Oh Lord.
But none of my children have ever had bedtimes. And
See, that's a conversation.
I regret it to
I
this
was about to say
day.
that is a conversation.
I regret it. I should have given them bedtime, but now it's like a battle of the bands up in here.
I know, but them girls, son, I was like, man, if my daughters would happen to be awake right now, they would hop in the boxing ring and knock his little ass out. I was like, man, put this little ass to sleep. Hey, people get taken out of wills every day.
Man, you feel me?
That shit ain't normal.
I'll say much less. That's what I'm saying.
Nigga, I am faded off gumbo.
I've never had gumbo.
Faded off gumbo.
What? Oh my God, you missing out on life, baby.
I've never had gumbo. I've never had jambalaya. What else I've never
You done
had?
made me.
I never
What? You missing out on cold?
scallop. Yeah. There's a
Man,
lot of
I
things.
promise you, you'll start acting different once you get you some. Oh my gosh, you got me want something now, and I'm up here in Seattle knowing I can't get none. Oh my God.
Oh man, I've never had
Oh
it.
my God. So you never had
Okay,
Cajun food?
so I'm very
Nope.
into my African spiritual practices. So this Thanksgiving, what we need to focus on is our ancestry. So family. So
Mm-hmm.
bring out those old photos. The
Come
eldest
Mm-hmm.
person, you let them bring out the photo book and the memories, and y'all share stories about as far back as you can what your family's about, and get all that ancestral energy flowing. And that's the new Thanksgiving right there. It's Ancestry Day.
Mm.
So
on. Hey,
all that old stuff, you can throw that out the window. We rebranded it as Ancestry Day, and we just really getting in touch with our family, our family roots, and our ancestry.
Ancestry.
Kevin, you just gotta follow me, boy. Thank you, brother. 'Cause I love that. I love that. I love that. And everything culture, I'm gonna make sure to put that on my Instagram. We go push that. I'm all for that, man.
Hashtag
Oh,
answer ready.
ancestry. Every year we go do a new genogram. I teach my little cousins our family tree, and they
Mm-hmm.
went to. Oh, we have family in Oklahoma that we on didn't come around. We just started coming around a few years ago, and my look, he was like 12. He was able, like they called all the kids out. They had a big contest. They got like you get prizes, money, all this type of stuff. This is my maternal grandmother's maternal side, okay? And my little cousin and like all my older cousins and called me like they were so proud of him, but they were thanking me because he could date back to because he's my second once again second cousin or twice removed once removed cousins, whatever. He could date back to his great grandmother and state all her siblings and things of that nature. And they were like blown away. Because when
Mm-hmm.
I used to have my little cousins visit me over the summer, over spring break. I keep them all week, and I used to give them homework. And part of the homework was because in the work being a caseworker, like you have to make someone else's family tree. Oh my God! You want me to tell you about some messy shit? Is when you, especially with white people, some of their family trees, like, like, like black people are like, man, this. Wait a minute, this person in the family
We
tree
all we
three.
got.
He in three different places in the family tree. He on three different branches. What's going on here?
Yeah.
But that's how things go. But it's such a unique thing, and I think I'm gonna try to push that by creating not only pictures but creating family trees too. Once again, man, I appreciate that. Let's hit this play.
Yo, back in the day, my family was wild too. Yo, Drake, like, especially my cousins. That was really hippie-ish before I was. They pray over the blunt. You know what I'm saying? That's just what they do.
Man,
They
you feel
before they
me?
light the blunt, they pray over it. Like it's like a whole ceremonious thing. So I feel you on that.
Man, I'm just once again, it is somebody outside of the family with people. Oh my God, this is my housewarming. I had co-workers there. Okay. you know and I'm one of those guys, like I have different sides of me. I have my very professional. I know judges. I'm close with attorneys. I'm close with I knew the DA. They know me by name and stuff like that in Houston. And I invited them, like, and my wife, she's smarter. She's like, don't invite these people around our family. I'm like, man, if they go accept me, they gotta accept my family. Wrong. Wrong. I don't let it play.
Like the worst relationship advice I've ever got.
Tell me.
Um, I
Keep
think
it.
the worst relationship advice I ever got was to like give
Oh,
it another chance and to oversee what they did and stuff like that. So when that happened, like when I finally like got to that sick point, like it's to the point where now like I'm gonna be direct, bro, hey, honest with y'all.
Yes.
Like I'm like solely on just getting like vengeful and hateful towards that person. Like
oh no.
not to the way to where like I had to do something, but the only one of the ways I know is just I know fucking her constantly and not putting titles on shit fucks with her. But I mean I'm well past that. But I mean that was the worst advice that I actually listened to.
So he's a toxic king now. Okay.
I think a lot of young males are like that because nobody teaches them how to go about addressing a woman for being incorrect. So
Man.
instead of them directly say, feel this, I don't like this that you did, they act out long, like stretched out long term by doing certain shit that they know is getting under your skin.
I mean, I want to dang God, how old are you? And it's just it's like because I used to be like that younger. If a
Mm.
girl broke, I used to be like when I was younger, and I was like, man, that shit was crazy. Like if you broke my heart, something happened, I'm going to get my lick back.
Oh shit.
Good evening, everyone. No, you have to put your kids on a bedtime schedule because that bedtime schedule is mommy time.
Hold on, you
So
must know Dominican
it's
apples.
just for your sanity. And it also puts them on a good routine.
True, but
You
it's
must know
like,
her.
no, I don't know her. This is the first time I've seen
She
Dominican.
sound like you. She sound like you around this time. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's see.
It's about time we give the indigenous people their reparations. I mean, that's why the Redskins, they had to take their logo off. Land O'Lake is not allowed to use the Indian
butter.
symbol anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, Thanksgiving is just the way it came about. It's crazy.
That's the this false cultures has been created.
Yeah. Every religion that we have here in America is based upon being mass people being killed. And then we turn it into something fun. We get things.
Well, holiday. Once again, y'all make sure to go follow Everything Culture, and make sure to follow She Gets the Spot. Click on our faces, click on our heads, go to our links, follow all that stuff, especially on YouTube. You'll learn something. You'll like it.
It's
But,
content.
but yeah, but when I tell you last year, I went and I needed. I wasn't haven't been on it as I was as much last year, but I looked up the history of each holiday, and it's like, man, Valentine's Day was, that was a massacre, and it was
Yep.
about and it's really, if any month should be LGBTQ month, is February, because Valentine's Day really would represent them.
Yep.
Then you look at Christmas. Christmas, we most know it's a pagan holiday, and it was like, it was a bunch of men having sex with kids, and big orgies. That was a big piece of Christmas. Um, and if we look at the 12 days of Christmas, I want everyone just a quick message. Tell us, when does the 12 days of Christmas start? Tell me
Okay.
that. Good question. And Halloween really coincides with Easter. Easter is the birth. Easter is really
Bye.
Bye.